Overthinking is not just a habit, it's a self-imposed prison where intelligence turns against itself, turning potential into paralysis and clarity into confusion. If you've ever found yourself trapped in endless loops of what if and if only, you're not alone. Overthinking is a silent destroyer, stealing peace of mind, distorting reality, and holding you back from living fully. But here's the truth: you don't have to live this way. In this deep exploration, you'll uncover why overthinking happens, how it tricks you into believing it's helpful, and why it ultimately works against you. You'll also learn powerful ways to break free, reclaim your clarity, and start living with confidence. Trust me, you will never look at your thoughts the same way again. The illusion of control in overthinking is a deeply ingrained belief that convinces us we can shape outcomes purely through excessive analysis. It is rooted in the idea that if we examine every detail, anticipate every possible consequence, and weigh every option thoroughly enough, we can eliminate uncertainty and prevent mistakes. This belief makes overthinking feel necessary. It feels like preparation, like a safeguard against regret, failure, and the unknown. But in reality, this illusion does not lead to better decisions or more control. Instead, it creates hesitation, doubt, and paralysis. The more we try to control everything, the more we become consumed by the endless possibilities of what could go wrong, making even the simplest decisions feel overwhelming. At the core of this illusion is the mind's attempt to find security in an unpredictable world. The human brain evolved to assess risks, predict threats, and anticipate consequences to enhance survival. This ability was once crucial for physical survival. Early humans needed to scan their environment constantly to avoid danger. However, in today's world, most threats are psychological or social rather than physical. Yet our brains still react as if every uncertain situation is a potential danger. Studies in cognitive psychology, such as those by Dr. Susan Nolan-Hoeksema, have shown that excessive rumination, repeatedly thinking about potential problems, actually increases stress and anxiety rather than helping us make better decisions. This is because our brains mistake thinking for action, leading us to believe that if we analyze a situation long enough, we can predict and control its outcome. One of the most deceptive aspects of this illusion is how rational it feels. Overthinking disguises itself as intelligence, responsibility, and caution. It convinces us that hesitation is wisdom, that careful planning is the key to success, and that delaying action will protect us from failure. But beneath this logic is often fear: the fear of making the wrong choice, the fear of failure, the fear of regret. In one experiment conducted at Columbia University, researchers found that when people were given too many choices, they struggled to make decisions at all. The study, known as the jam experiment, showed that when shoppers were presented with 6 types of jam, they were more likely to buy one than when they were given 24 choices. This highlights how too many options or too much analysis can lead to decision paralysis rather than clarity. The illusion of control does not just affect decision-making, it also influences how we interact with others. Overthinkers do not only overanalyze their own choices, they overanalyze everything: conversations, text messages, facial expressions, and social interactions. A study by Dr. Ethan Cross at the University of Michigan found that people who frequently ruminate on social situations tend to experience higher levels of anxiety and self-doubt. They replay past conversations, searching for hidden meanings. They hesitate before speaking, carefully calculating the right words to avoid embarrassment or rejection. But relationships, like life, are unpredictable. No amount of analysis can guarantee a certain outcome in human interactions. The more we try to control conversations and predict responses, the more anxious and disconnected we become. Instead of deepening relationships, overthinking creates a barrier, making interactions feel forced and unnatural. Perhaps the greatest paradox of overthinking is that the more we seek control, the less control we actually have. Overanalyzing does not create certainty, it amplifies doubt. It does not bring confidence, it breeds hesitation. It does not make decisions easier, it makes them harder. The more we try to mentally prepare for every outcome, the more overwhelming even simple choices become. What starts as a logical attempt to gain control turns into a cycle of self-doubt that makes us feel powerless. Overthinking promises clarity, but instead it delivers confusion. It makes us believe we are making progress when in reality we are standing still. And the harder we cling to the illusion of control, the further we drift from the very thing we seek: clarity, confidence, and the ability to move forward. Overthinking is not just a habit of the mind, it is an emotional burden that weighs heavily on those who experience it. When thoughts spiral uncontrollably between past regrets and future uncertainties, they create a state of ongoing distress that can feel impossible to escape. Unlike a simple reflection on past events, overthinking forces people to relive their mistakes, playing them over and over as if they were happening in real time. This emotional re-experiencing keeps negative feelings alive, preventing the brain from moving on and making peace with the past. Similarly, when overthinkers focus on the future, they construct worst-case scenarios in their minds, triggering stress and anxiety over events that may never actually unfold. What starts as an attempt to prepare for the unknown quickly becomes a source of suffering, making everyday situations feel overwhelming. The emotional consequences of overthinking go beyond momentary worry. They have long-term psychological and even physical effects. Research has consistently shown a strong link between chronic overthinking and mental health issues, including generalized anxiety disorder, GAD, depression, and heightened stress responses. A study published in the Journal of Abnormal Psychology found that excessive rumination, continuously thinking about problems without reaching a resolution, contributes to both the onset and maintenance of depressive symptoms. This is because overthinking amplifies negative emotions rather than resolving them, reinforcing patterns of self-doubt and despair. On a physiological level, overthinking activates the body's stress response, increasing cortisol levels, which can lead to headaches, muscle tension, digestive issues, and even insomnia. Over time, this constant state of stress weakens the immune system and can contribute to chronic health conditions such as high blood pressure and heart disease. One of the most damaging effects of overthinking is its erosion of self-confidence. The more people scrutinize their own actions, the more flaws they perceive in themselves, even if others do not see them. This hyper-awareness of possible mistakes makes them hesitant to act, fearing that a single misstep will define them permanently. Everyday decisions, such as speaking in a meeting, sending an email, or expressing an opinion, become sources of anxiety as the overthinker questions every possible outcome. Over time, this undermines their ability to trust their own judgment, creating a cycle where even minor choices feel like monumental challenges. In extreme cases, this can lead to learned helplessness, where individuals begin to believe that no matter what they do, they will never make the right decision, causing them to withdraw from opportunities entirely. Perhaps the most tragic aspect of overthinking is its ability to magnify pain unnecessarily. A small, insignificant mistake, such as saying something awkward in a conversation, can transform into a source of deep embarrassment, not because of the event itself, but because the mind refuses to let it go. Studies on memory and emotional processing, such as those conducted by Dr. Daniel Schachter at Harvard University, show that repeated mental replay of negative experiences strengthens neural connections associated with those memories, making them feel more significant than they actually were. This is why overthinkers often feel disproportionate shame over minor events. Each time they replay a moment in their minds, they reinforce the emotional impact it has on them. Relationships also suffer as a result. Overthinkers may misinterpret someone's tone, facial expression, or response, assuming negative intent where none exists. They might overanalyze a friend's delayed reply to a text, or convince themselves that a neutral remark was actually criticism. This constant mental filtering of interactions through a lens of doubt can strain relationships, create unnecessary conflicts, and distance people from genuine connection. In the end, overthinking does not just distort reality, it creates an emotional prison that makes life feel harder than it actually is. The emotional toll of excessive thinking is not just in the thoughts themselves, but in the way they shape how we feel about ourselves, our choices, and our relationships with others. Instead of helping us navigate life with more certainty, overthinking replaces clarity with confusion, replaces self-trust with doubt, and turns ordinary moments into overwhelming burdens. Fear of failure traps overthinkers in endless analysis, making every decision feel like a potential disaster. This mindset causes hesitation, but mistakes are not the real problem. Inaction is. Research by psychologist Dr. Carol Dweck on growth mindset versus fixed mindset shows that people who embrace mistakes as learning experiences adapt faster and achieve more. Entrepreneurs who launch imperfect products refine them through experience, while those who wait for a flawless plan often never start. The same applies to careers, relationships, and personal growth. No decision guarantees success, but every decision provides insight. The real risk isn't making a wrong choice, it's avoiding choices altogether. Overthinkers also struggle with being stuck in the past, replaying mistakes, or in the future, anticipating worst-case scenarios. Neither state allows action. Studies by Dr. Judson Brewer at Brown University show that mindfulness, through meditation, deep breathing, or journaling, reduces overactivity in the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for excessive analysis. Simple sensory awareness, focusing on breath, movement, or surroundings, can interrupt the cycle of overthinking. Over time, mindfulness builds resilience, helping people move past intrusive thoughts rather than getting stuck in them. Another major cause of overthinking is analysis paralysis, where excessive deliberation prevents decision-making altogether. Research published in Psychological Science found that people who set time limits on decisions feel more satisfied and confident than those who analyze endlessly. Without limits, the mind seeks more information, creating greater uncertainty. Whether it's 5 minutes for small choices, like picking a meal, or a day for bigger ones, like accepting a job offer, a deadline forces action and prevents spiraling into doubt. Two people facing a career decision, one setting a deadline and acting, the other spending months weighing options, will experience drastically different outcomes. The difference isn't intelligence. It's the ability to trust oneself and move forward, even with incomplete information. Overthinking also thrives on hesitation, convincing people that waiting for the perfect plan is safer than acting now. A Stanford University study found that those who take action and adjust as they go are significantly more likely to succeed than those who delay until they feel fully prepared. Experience provides clarity in a way that thinking never can. Someone who wants to start a business but spends years analyzing the market, fearing failure, and seeking the perfect strategy will likely never begin. Meanwhile, another person launches a small version of their idea, learns from real-world feedback, and improves along the way. Who ultimately succeeds? The one who acted. Overthinking promises certainty but delivers hesitation and regret. It convinces you that more thinking leads to better choices, but clarity comes from action, not endless deliberation. Those who learn to take risks, embrace uncertainty, and trust themselves break free from overthinking. The greatest mistake is not making a wrong decision. It's making no decision at all. Overthinking is a self-imposed prison, a cycle where thought replaces action and analysis replaces experience. The more we attempt to control outcomes, the less control we actually have. But the good news is that freedom is possible. By shifting from a mindset of fear to one of acceptance, from perfectionism to progress, and from hesitation to action, we can break free from the paralysis of overthinking. Life is not meant to be lived in your head, it is meant to be experienced. Let go of the thoughts that hold you back, trust yourself and move forward, because in the end, the only real mistake is never making a decision at all.